Hello, everyone, and welcome to an impromptu session of the Difference Makers Show. I'm Lynn Sanders, the Story Empowerment Coach, and I am really excited you're here because I have a special, amazing guest to show you today. And her name is Michele Maddox. Her company is Michele Maddox International, and she is an empowerment mentor for women as well as an author. And she has some special tips to share for all the women out there who want to feel more empowered and be able to make the most of their life. I want to ask Michele first just a little question that is in the back of my mind and perhaps yours. How did you get to be an empowerment mentor for women, Michele?
I love that question. I come by it organically because I'm the daughter of and the granddaughter of extraordinary, brave women who they thought they were thinkers outside of the box. They had courage. I don't even think they realized it. They just lived their lives, but they were different because they had a very um, broad view of their potential in the world, and they didn't hesitate to pursue what was most important to them. For an example, when I was 10 years old, my parents divorced, and I didn't know that all this was happening. And when news reached me, it also included the fact that my mother was taking my younger brother and me a little bit later. I'll say maybe when I hit 11, my younger brother Eddie and she was taking us to Istanbul, Turkey to live as a way to help her children heal from the breakup of the family, to place us in an environment far from Los Angeles where we were living, in Eastern Europe, but it was a very exotic culture. Turkey's Arabic. Everything about it is Arabic, though it is positioned on the eastern end of Europe. Um, we went to Turkey. We were unusual as African Americans. Of the three of us, I was the only one who looked clearly African American, so I attracted quite a bit of attention. Literally, people wanted to touch my skin, my hair, and
Wow.
they
Oh
just
my.
wanted to know how I could wash my hands and the color would come off. And they would
Oh my gosh.
kids would follow me into the bathroom and run out squealing into their bed. It doesn't wash off. It doesn't. Same in Turkey.
Wow.
But it took years before I realized what my mother had done, the gift she had given us. We traveled extensively through Europe and the Middle East during that period, and my eyes opened to possibilities in the world and the differences in people. And I began to question my identity and the way I had seen the world as a young person, with certain boundaries, certain limitations on my potential and on what the world could offer me. I just hadn't ever thought about that till all of a sudden I'm riding a camel up to the Pyramid of Giza. I am playing with monkeys. I've forgotten where we were when that happened, sailing in the Mediterranean, and just in awe of the world and in awe of the people I was meeting left and right. Many, many years later, my own terrible divorce happened, and I had to deal with cancer, which was a consequence, I believe, a direct consequence for 5 years of dealing with this buildup that came from this challenging divorce. And on the last day of my radiation treatment, I rang the bell in the treatment room to celebrate that it was over. And within days, I was in Florence, Italy, gifting myself with an adventure by myself where I could do what my mother had us do decades before, and just invite a new lens through which I would experience the world and myself and my ability to adapt. I didn't speak Italian. I had decided to
Wow.
I studied art of the Renaissance court and Italian language. But the rest of the time I was meandering through Tuscany and just enjoying the country and had my children fly over and spend some time with me. But I came home. Actually, there's a whole long story about how I decided where to live because I had to redefine everything in my life to really give myself an opportunity to um, to shed what had been so painful for so many years. And a woman came along who was fascinating. Shirley McAlpin. Friends said, go see her, go talk to her about healing. She understands cancer. Don't ask us to explain. She doesn't have credentials. She is probably not going to charge you, but we insist that you go see her. My friends had to really hammer me make the drive to go find her. But what she did was rewire everything about the way I felt, the fear that I had had about going through the treatments, the uh, guilt for living in a way that had brought me to this point. I had done this to myself. All these things that were part of my identity, part of my kind of exploration of how I was going to reorganize what I felt and what goals I was going to set, what the path forward would be, all of that. And I discovered with Shirley's help that I had so much joy, so much power, so much incredible potential. I hadn't really ever felt that in my life. And I was so sick and bald and dealing with all that comes with chemo and radiation and happier than I'd ever been in my life.
Oh my
Because
gosh. Wow.
she taught me to see small
Mm.
things that brought me gratitude and hope and excitement. And I just began grinning and smiling over nothing, over silly things. And other people around me were grinning and smiling. And it just
Wow.
became sometimes very contagious.
Yeah. So you shifted your thinking and it shifted everything in your outcome. What would be the one message you'd want people to remember from that powerful story?
I want particularly older women who are in this chapter when ageism is doing a number on their self-worth and their feeling about what they can achieve in the world. I want them to stop and realize, and I will show them through techniques and stories and things that they're going to study and journal about. I'll show them that so much of what they have created in their lives is a result of what they believe and what they say and what they do based on those beliefs. And that when they start a process of introspection and they begin to question the boundaries, the limits, limitations, the obstacles that they believe prevent them from the joy that they would really like to experience in life, once they start questioning all of that and then releasing the limitations that go with the mistaken thinking, everything opens up. And it doesn't matter how old, it doesn't matter, any of that. What matters is that they discover that they have unlimited potential throughout their lives and that they can rewrite the narrative of their lives into a story, a beautiful story, and a legacy that they would be so proud of.
Oh, that's beautiful. I want to repeat that. You can rewrite the legacy of your life so you can
Rewrite the
be proud of
narrative.
the narrative of your life.
Rewrite the narrative of your life, recreate it, and write a new story that will become the legacy you intended and
Oh,
intentionally. Our legacies are not within our control, we think. We don't intend to design them, but we can. We
that is
absolutely.
beautiful. So how can people find you, Michelle? What's the best way to find you?
Oh, I'd love for them to find me.
What's your
Well,
website?
my, my email address, my email address is Michele, Michele, at Michele Maddox, Maddox, international.com.
And your website?
My website is in the works.
Oh,
It's
okay. So you can email Michelle and learn more. I think that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I
welcome.
appreciate your time and your generosity in giving people, the women especially, the power to recognize that they can recreate and define their life and their legacy. They're beautiful. Thank you.
Thank I enjoyed that.
Thank you.